Finally, the rain has gone off and we are all back live for the last game of the day, where Sydney Storms take on Kochi B8, and it is going to be Kochi B8 who's going to bat first. And now joining me in the commentary box, I've got Rob. Welcome, Rob.
Thanks, KV. Yeah, big match for the guys now, especially big after that last result that we just saw between Lucknow Tigers and Road Panthers. Absolute cracking game there, coming down to the last ball, and I think Lucknow really threw that away, but that really opens up this group now, KV. It means basically that it's all going to go down to the last game tomorrow between Sydney Storm and Road Panthers, whatever happens here. So it's a very interesting pool.
Yeah, very interesting pool, but the interest is sometimes being kept a little bit far away just because of this rain. This rain has been playing its own role over here.
That's true. But I mean, when you look at the conditions now compared to 1 hour ago, I didn't imagine that we would get in this game when the heavy clouds were rolling over. So the ground staff did a terrific job, got the covers on really quickly as soon as the rain started. As you can see, they're out there now with the fires, heating up the pitch a bit like the start of the day where they were literally burning the bowlers' run-ups just to dry it out. But they've done a terrific job to get this playable. So yeah, a bit of a delay here. But, you know, a bit of time for us to assess what's going to happen and talk a bit about the tournament in general.
Yeah, meanwhile, we'll just have a look at both the sides playing 8. What is the composition they've gone with?
So it's going to be an interesting one here. Have you, KV, have you seen Kochi play yet in this tournament?
Yeah, I just saw the first game where Kochi won that game while chasing. They were not chasing too much. They were just chasing 77 runs. So today they've been put into bat first. Let's see what kind of a score they put on the board. On the other hand, your bowling looks very good with 5 fast bowlers you've gone. One of them been trained by Sean Tate.
Yeah, they would like to have been trained by Short Tate. I think they all have pretty much as many injuries in their backs as he does. But yeah, they've got a couple of other seamers. Probably got 7 guys that they can turn to. The keeper is the only spinner, Husajazi. So if they're really feeling that the seam bowling isn't working, then they'll haul him out from behind the stumps. But to be honest, not a lot of variation in this Australian team's bowling attack. All right arm seamers, no left armers. So hopefully that works out for them. We'll see. They'll be relying on Mick McGrath, who will probably open for them to get a bit of swing bowling. The rest of them are pretty much just
sparkling behind the clouds. But they know it's just 4 o'clock. It's too early for it. So the game is still on. And you mentioned, yes, you've got a lot of fast bowling options. You don't have spin. The only spinner you have is the wicket keeper. So who does take the gloves if he comes to bowl?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a couple of guys that will be perfectly capable of doing it. There's a bloke called Gus Sloan that will probably do it, but we'll see how it goes first. Mick McGrath bowled well for them early in the first game. He's taking the new ball again, as he did in Sydney Storm's first game, where he bowled a few hooping out swingers that helped him get a couple of early wickets. So we'll see if he can get that swing again here.
Swing a little bit low. So it is Lee Jo and Ajit opening the innings over here. Mick McGrath who's starting the proceedings over here. So one of the viewers just want to know, is he the relative of Glenn McGrath or is he a relative of England, Ricky McGrath?
Absolutely. Well, I believe that he's Glenn McGrath's father, so he's got the same kind of looks. And you see there a little bit of outswing again. So that's a positive for Mick McGrath early on. Just getting a little bit of movement, that'll encourage him.
He's got a good height, but the concern will be what length and line he hits over here.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the difficulty for him now because he's got the left-right-hand combination, so he's going to have to adjust his lines, which will work well from here with the in-swinger coming back to left-hander. This is how he got his first wicket in their first game, swung it in LBW to leg stump, so that will give him confidence. But then it's about him having to readjust his lines to the right-hander once Jose comes back on.
Let's see, will he be able to bring the ball back into the left-hander? He was taking away from the right-hander, but can he get the ball to nip back into the left-hander? One on the board. The Kochi are off the mark with a single. Ajit on strike. Foolish delivery, driven. The off drive, wonderful drive, slight fumble over there, and just couldn't control his body over there. So that allowed 2 runs over there for the batter to get off the mark. Ajit.
They'll be disappointed with that early on. I mean, early in a game, you really want to put the pressure on. So big Brad McGraw will be disappointing himself there. Namesake of the bowler, fielding out there, long on, very big hitter, quality bowler.
Going for a quick single will get the runs, because generally don't see any fielder inside the circle, because only 6 fielders take the field.
Sorry, KB, I believe the adjusted power play is the first 3 overs today, and then the last 2 overs, because it's an 18-over reduced game. So just the first 3 overs. And Ziad does generally like to use the power play, and we can see that at the moment. He's got 4 on the offside here. He's got third man, deep point, cover is in, and then he's got the long off. So he's only got 2 leg side fielders, which is deep square and long on.
The offside field is back. They've got 4 fielders on the offside, 1 fielder inside the circle. The shot cover. And the umpire is just having a word with McGrath.
Well, he'll have a bit of confidence here. Mick McGraw, he started pretty well, I think. Bit of movement there, but then also the batsman. You know, they both got bat on ball decently, so even first few balls here.
Yeah. Now that conversation just keeps on going between both the umpires. They're not sure about what the conversation is going on, whether it's regarding the field, because they just brought 1 fielder inside the circle, and that is the conversation going on. As you said, 2 fielders on the onside, 4 fielders on the offside. That is a rule of a power play. You can have 2 fielders one side, 4 fielders on the other side.
Absolutely. So not quite sure what's going on here. It could be a well, they're having a bit of a conversation out there, so not quite sure what they're talking about, but gives us a chance just to tell you a bit more about the composition of the Sydney Storm side. A lot of the guys know each other very well, play in the same region of Sydney, almost all these players. There's only 2 players from outside that region, so they played with and against each other for many years now. Vast amount of LMS experience here, which will be in contrast to Kochi Bees. There's, I think, close to 1,800 LMS caps in this Sydney side, and there's 3 LMS legends, official LMS legends in the side, so a lot of experience, but then they probably won't have the youth and athleticism that the Kochi Bees guys will show in the field.
Slight swing, gets an outside edge, down towards the third man. Will return back for a second to finish the over number 1. After 1, score is 6 without loss. So your role, what is your role with this side?
My role is just as a team owner for this side, but I also manage last man stands in Australia, so I know all these players pretty well. So yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for us as Australia to have 2 teams coming over, the Brisbane Burners, Sydney Storm. Just a brilliant opportunity for all these guys to be involved in the inaugural India Super Series, and it just generated so much excitement since being launched only 4 months ago. And really the talk of LMS in Australia at the moment, where we've got almost 1,000 teams playing last man stands. So lots of the guys will be watching this, and then looking forward to next year. I mean, India is one of these iconic places in the world that every cricketer wants to come to. So we're hoping that next year we can come back with sides from Brisbane, from Perth, from all over Australia in a bigger, more global second India Super Series, hopefully.
Yeah, India's been always a crazy country regarding this game of cricket.
So that's Ziad Abbas, KV. So he's the captain of Sydney Storm. He's one of the official LMS legends, as I told you, and a lot of guys in LMS will know him because he represented Australia in the LMS World Series back in England almost 4 years ago now. So Ziad, it's interesting that he's one of the other opening bowlers. Normally,
that's been just scooped away down towards the fine leg, but because it came off the glove, so doesn't have the pace behind the shot. 2 runs.
So as you can see, KV, he's a big man, Ziad. He can bowl a good heavy ball. He used to have a lot more pace than he does now, but he's a very experienced widey bowler, and he's got exceptional match tactics in his head, hence why he's the skipper.
Slow delivery. Thrashed through the offside. The ropes are just about to kiss the ball. And there you see. First boundary over there for him. Ajit to the offside.
That was a lovely looking shot there, KV. He really just full faced the bat, saw where the gap was in the field. That's brilliant to see. That'll get Ziad worrying there a bit, the ease with which that boundary was hit. Looks like he's not using the power play fielding at the moment. He's got 3 either side of the wicket, deep square, deep mid wicket, long on, orthodox long off, backward point, and then a wide third man.
Just trying to run it down through that slip region. Oh my goodness. That's been called wide. Maybe too harsh.
Look a little bit harsh, but Ziad will be disappointed with that. But to be honest, best thing was that the batsman didn't get any bat on there because it's a vacant third man region there, so that would mean 4 runs all the way.
Yeah, so time to introduce Simon into the commentary box, so he'll be taking the responsibility.
Thanks, KV. Thanks, Rob. Great to get a bit of insight about the Sydney Storm. And Big Z, just Wiley, just rolling his fingers on a few here. Overpitched that one slow ball and got sent to the cover boundary.
Lovely drive. I think we have seen 333 on Chris Gale. Now we are seeing 888 on Abbas Villa. So we just want to know about this 888 figure. From has he scored 888 runs? Like Chris Gale has 333 runs in Test cricket. So what is the reason behind 888?
Maybe 888 LMS games or 888 sixes in his LMS career. Hits a long ball. He hit it onto the roof at DY Patil Stadium last time we were in India. It's a big hit.
So there's a lot of things behind that 888.
Mick McGrath back in now. 3rd over. Shaped it nicely. It's not exactly his forte bowling to the left-handers. He'd much prefer to take it away from the right-handers. So he'll be looking to try and nip one through the gate here. We'll just push it across and get the edge through to Huss.
In the air for a while. But there's no one patrolling that backward point region. 4 runs.
Great shot there by Ajith. They've gone the triple glove punch there. Good to see. So he just sliced that one, just held the face. It's a great shot. Keeping the bat right on the ball until the last minute.
He's moving well, Ajit. 17 of 9. 20 without loss. Return back. Catch over there. Softest whistle.
Will he look for the double play? If he pays attention, there could be a double play. Not paying attention though. The batsman was just stood 2 foot out the crease there. Would have been a sneaky one, but they've missed it. So Ajith was looking superb, but on his way, 17 off 10.
I think it was more in his celebration of the wicket which he just picked up. As you mentioned it right, Simon, there was a chance to have the other batter 2 out on the similar ball. This was a return catch.
So Andy Percy has just joined the box. He'll be doing some fielding, but missed the double play out there.
So 1 wicket down at the score of 20. Robin, the number 10 batter, with jersey number 10 coming to batter number 3. His jersey number is Robin, maybe that is a nickname. His name is Sanju Sajiv. Powerful striker of a cricket ball. But a good comeback by McGrath. Was it for a 4? He's made a good return back. Has picked up a wicket over here.
Good concentration there from McGrath to the top of his mark. Intently looking where he wants to land it. Good delivery off the inside half of the bat and away for a single.
21 for 1. Third over in progress. Lijo still out in the middle. Sanju has just walked out. Just tapping it down towards the third man for a single.
Just getting ever gloomier here. Hopefully this weather holds. So Mick McGrath, see him there. 264 LMS game, almost 1,000 overs, 225 wickets at just under 27. Economy of 6.5.
That is fabulous record. Now we come to know why that triple eight was there. Because recently when he completed 888 overs, he got that printed on his jersey. And I've been also been told that his birthday is on 8th. His wife's birthday is on 8th. His kid's birthday is on 8th. So that's why he's got that triple eight. 3 overs are done, 23 for 1. And he's into the attack, Abbas, the man with the triple eight.
Sanjeev on strike now, so not much strike between the two of them. We see Big Z's profile there, 367 LMS matches, almost 1,200 overs, 315 wickets. The 1-5 wicket haul. There with his favourite shisha. Noah got confiscated off him as he came to the hotel earlier this week.
Got some pace. Got some powerful shoulders. 2 runs. I think Rob was telling me that when he'll come out to bat and if he starts clicking, you have to bring a lot of balls from outside the park. You might lose few today. He's got that kind of a power.
Does hit a long ball, plenty of sixes. He'll definitely, if we're hitting towards the other end, he'll be putting some in the Cobra pit over there.
I think that is why when Rob and they all play friendly match, he always asks Abbas to bat last so that the ball are not lost.
So coming back for 2 here. Good running by the Kochi Bees, buzzing through the wickets.
Here the one is Strom, one is B. Let's see which flies higher.
Ziad here, just rolling his fingers on a few, mixing up his pace well. Into the wicket, that one. It could be another 2 here. But no, they've good tactics here. They've got the deep square and then the deep mid wicket in a few just to cut the 2s. Ziad doesn't want to get too short here. There's no one behind square on the leg side.
So, 4th over in progress, 29 for 1. Both the bowlers just trying to find the rhythm over here.
Bit of a misty conditions at the moment. It looks clear enough. Ziad just pushes that one down the leg side. So 3-run wide, that one, unfortunately for him. Cardinal sin. Coach Percy's not happy up here in the box. This one's hit down towards mid-wicket. Looking for 2. It's just be the one good fielding out there. I think they've got Gus Sloan. I know Gus is at cover. So Mick McGrath at long on. You got Brad McGrath long off.
Yeah, 4 overs are done, 33 for 1.
Change of bowler now. It's going to be Sadeep Deepak into the attack. He's a young player from the Sydney side, very talented guy. Plays for Randy Peets in Sydney.
Starts with a wide, 5 wides indeed. That is not you want to bowl first up.
Under pressure now, Sadeep. Not what you need to start with. His first ball, you just want to get it stump to stump, but he just pushed that one out the side here. See it on replay. It's falling away slightly and pushed right down and off Huzz's boot. This one nicked. Oh, nearly a catch, and it's going to be another 4. Yes. Unfortunate. Great effort by the fielder out there. But Huss just to his right. Couldn't get across. Better delivery from Sadeep.
Far more better. Just around down the leg side.
It's the ball before. So he's gone leg stump and now off stump. Now we see it here. Look, nicked. Oh.
Yeah.
2 foot to the keeper's right.
Yeah, we needed a flying wicket keeper over there. That's a good shot of the back foot.
Much better length from Sadeep there. Into the wicket.
2 balls, 10 runs from this over with 3 more balls to go.
Plenty of encouragement coming from the sidelines here. And Lee Jose up to 18 off 9. Frees the arms, hits that one square, but Gus Sloan should just keep it to 1. Gus has been training hard for this event. He's told me he's lost 20 kilos. Said he didn't want to carry too much timber for LMS. Nice ball, Sadeep. Change of pace. And Gus is off again. 20 Ks lighter, and he keeps it to a single.
Yeah, this has been an expensive over. 12 of this one. Still a ball left in the over. 45 for 1 with 5th over in progress.
Into the wicket. That's good. Batsman trying to use his feet, but just stayed a little low. And dot ball. So 45 for 1 here after 5. KV, going to take a break, pal. And get some rest, get some water on board, and we'll see you back here in a bit. Of course, they're live here at the LMS India Super Series from Games Forest in Baliwas in Gurgaon, Haryana. Great to be here as we see Vikrant into the attack. He's been bathroom bound for most of the day, but he's got himself up and out and he's ready to bowl now. So Rob, welcome back to the commentary box.
Thanks, Simon. So be interesting to see how this goes. It's coming out both ends for Vikrant throughout today. So 333 as opposed to 888. Good start for him though. That'll raise confidence there after a difficult morning for him.
Hopefully won't go for too many runs here, Rob.
He's a crucial player for Sydney Storm. He's relatively new to LMS, but in the time that he's played, he's absolutely destroyed it, both with bat and ball. So as opposed to most of the other players in the Sydney Storm side, apart from Sadeep, they're all very established LMS players. So Vikrant Nehru and Sadeep are the 2 newer players to LMS. But he started really well here, Simon. I mean, just a few inches outside off stump, good length, just a little bit short of full length. And it's the kind of bowling I think Sydney Storm need at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. Just we've seen in the early game, Centurion, Sagmi were probably short on spinners. The Delhi Lions had a lot of spin. So did Orlando Scorpions. But so Sydney just need to take pace off here, just hit good spots. Well, that's looked like a double hit there. Don't know how that's got down there. He scooped it back over his head. Love to see a replay of that one. So, just need control here. Too much pace and width. You're going to get smacked about, so you just got to bowl into the wicket, a few variations, and try and get the guys to punch into the covers.
I think they'll be well aware of that. They're all very experienced cricketers, this Sydney team, both inside of LMS and out. Good cricket brains on all of them, so I think they'll be very aware that's what they need to be doing.
That's a good delivery, that. Just cramping the batsman for room. Don't let them free their arms. Ball's just coming on nicely to the bat.
Kochi Bees will be very happy with their start here, though, I reckon, after that early loss, Simon. 50 for 1 after 5.4 overs. Only 29 legal deliveries bowled. These difficult conditions after the rain, I think they'll be delighted with their start here.
Yeah, I think so as well. If anything, the rain might have just quickened up the wicket a little. Just a little bit of it was getting a little dry. We saw in the last match there was quite a bit of turn on offer. But, just quickening up a bit, and they'll be happy with their start. It's never nice batting first when there's inclement weather. Not quite sure what to expect, but they've got a few out the middle and going along nicely here.
That was a good first over there from Vikram after his illness. Just 6 runs off his first over, so good to see him fighting fit at the moment anyway. 6 overs gone, 51 for 1, so I'd be the happier man if I was on the Kochi Bees side at the moment, but still not a bad start from Sydney Storm in this crucial game for them. So not a lot of pressure here, Simon, on Kochi Bees, because after that last result, they're pretty much through. So it all just depends on what happens between Storm and her old Panthers tomorrow.
Nice hit there. Great shot. And that's 4 runs. Sajeev, Brad McGrath, first delivery.
He'll be very disappointed with that, Brad. He's the ultimate competitor, true legend of LMS, as we all know. But that was just a cracking shot. The pace that it went through extra cover there didn't give the fielder a chance. So Sanjeev really showing his class there. Moves on to 17 off 12. Projected score now 160. So that's a hell of a score off 18 overs, Simon, if they can get to that.
Yeah, big total. Oh, he's bowled him. Big Brad. Bit of bias in the commentary box. Andy Percy's given it a double fist, but great bowling from Brad McGrath. Just rolled his fingers on that one, I think. Just held in the wicket a little. And Sanju looking to heave it over the leg side. And he's lost his middle stump.
That was a very poor shot there in the conditions, Simon. Things were going so well for them. He was batting well, but Brad will be absolutely delighted. It looked like it kept a little bit low from first watching. Let's just have a look here.
Just cutter. It was a cutter. See, it just nipped in a bit. Did Saju.
Lovely bowling there from Brad McGrath, showing all of his experience, and that's a massive wicket for Sydney Storm. They needed something to turn the tide, so 55 for 2 now after 6.2 overs. Reminded that this is just an 18-over-a-side game after all the rain breaks that we've had, and it's a terrific job by all the groundsmen and all the management just to keep these games on in these conditions, and looks like it's playing pretty well out there, Simon.
Yeah, it's nice. The wicket here has been a belter all day. While the covers haven't been on, it's been fantastic. Yeah, had a few barbecues on the pitch early this morning. Dried it out. Bit of petrol in use, but it's playing nicely. There'll be plenty of runs in it.
Very different conditions here to day one, which was hot. Yesterday, a lot of rain around, and then today has fluctuated between heat, rain, cold conditions. So, yeah, all seasons in one day. It's almost like, the world over at the moment, I guess.
Like Sydney.
Absolutely, yeah. These Sydney players well used to wet weather cricket after the amount of rain they've had in the last couple of years. So these conditions should suit them down to the ground. But look at this from Brad. A real bounce back from that first ball boundary. Bounce back with a wicket and then a dot ball. Great stuff from McGrath.
Going well. I'm sure he's enjoying loving the green and gold as well as a proud Kiwi.
He is. He's also got an Australian passport now as well, and he was a young lad when he came over, so he's born to Australian parents as well in New Zealand. So if you're going to get half-half, then he's pretty much as much as they come.
There's almost a fake Kiwi there. He's claiming it, but he's not actually really, is he?
Absolutely, they all do. Point of difference for them. So here we go. Brad McGrath in to finish his over. It's been a fine first over so far. And he finishes it well there. That's just going to be the single you would have thought to third man. They're not going to risk coming back for the second, and they don't. So that's a great first over from Brad McGrath there. Really bounced back from that cracking shot through the extra covers for his first ball. Finishes up with 1 for 6 off his first over. 7 overs, 57 for 2. So that will make the Sydney Storm players feel a lot better about this game.
I think so. I think the key here is to go bang bang. If they can get 2 quick ones, get rid of Lijo Jose, then they'll be very happy. It's always good if you can get 2 new batsmen. Just let your bowlers settle in.
3 comes back on. Vikrant Nehru. Great first over from him. So let's see if he can follow it up. Some cracking shots from him in Sydney Storm's first game as he retired with a great opening innings. Showed the value of hitting through the ball. Straight back, he hit 4 sixes.
Man of the match, wasn't he?
He was man of match. Bowled 2 tighter overs.
It's a bit of gas behind that one. That's taken off.
Really surprised Huss there, the keeper. Did well to take that up near his face.
Nearly took his mustache off there, Huss. See it here. Bends the back, quick wrist, and just flies through, and Huss went to crocodile hands.
Woe betide anyone that removes the moustache from Huss Hijazi. He's very proud of that moustache, and it's a wonderful one at the moment. Several months growth in there now. I think it's up to 5 months growth, that moustache. So he's a proud man.
Another 2 there. So they're just ticking along nicely here. The Kochi Bees. Sydney Storm got the wicket last over, but Kochi just ticking the runs along still. 59 now for 2. So projected score 143, and I think that'd be a good total. They've got a very good leg spinner in their arsenal, the Kochi B8. Don't know if the Aussie team will be used to playing the high quality spin on these kind of wickets. Someone's could be 4 runs. Sadeep coming round but won't cut it off. Just a little too straight there from Vikrant.
And that's what they're so good at, Simon. Just these Indian players, just their quick wrists moving across stumps. Anything on their body just gets whipped away down a fine leg or through square leg. And just look at that wonderful shot there. Right in the gap. No one was going to get there. The other thing I've been impressed with the Indian sides is the amount of 2s that they run, Simon. I mean, that was, for me, a big comparison with the Australian sides on day one. The ability to turn 1s into 2s.
Speaking to Maidan Lal the other night at the opening ceremony, he said there's been a massive shift across all of Indian cricket in regards to fitness and the running between the wickets. So in this tournament, you wouldn't normally expect it, but they're probably the fittest teams out of the lot, and the overseas teams are probably the opposite. So it's interesting. So you've got the Indian teams who understand the Indian conditions, but the LMS international teams who understand the LMS tactic. So it's a nice balance.
That's a wonderful shot there.
Straight to the fielder though, Rob. And could be double played. There's the LMS experience we were just talking about. 2 batsmen gone in a ball, and the Kochi B8 have been double stung there.
That's a crucial hit there. I mean, they missed out on the double play early on, Simon, but that's something that we've seen throughout this tournament. A lot of the Indian teams are coming to the double play, newer guys to LMS, and that's a crucial turning point for Sydney. I'll blame our commentary box position, or mine at least. Don't quite have the visage of you over long on, but well played to Sydney Storm there. Vikrant Nehru picks up the wicket. 2 down, 2 new batsmen coming in now in these conditions, Simon. It's going to be pretty tricky for them now, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. Just see the replay here. Nicely from Vikrant. He's just trying to cramp the guys for room. Just keep it on the stumps. See the catch taken, whips it in. I think the batsman was semi-aware. He realised hurtling back, but run out by half a pitch there.
Well, Phil, is that Mick McGrath in the deep there at long on? I think Simon is. If it is, then he's the one that obviously missed out on the first double play. So he's made up for his early error in not getting the early double play by getting that one. Just as crucial, Sydney Storm will be cock a hoop at the moment. Brad McGrath coming back onto bowl here. He'll be buoyed by his wicket in the last over, so suddenly the game shifting massively in favour of Sydney Storm.
Yeah, big time. And just an interesting moment of the game here to see how Kochi B play it from here. They've got 10 overs left, but they've only got 4 wickets left, and they don't want to have too many overs with the last man stands. So will they look to knock it around, do you think, Rob, or do you think they'll just keep on looking to score?
Well, I think in this scenario, you've got to knock it around for at least the next 3 or 4 overs, don't you? They've got another 10 overs left to bat, another quick wicket or two here, and they're in all sorts of trouble. We can just see there that Mohammed Ashiq realises the importance of his wicket at this stage. And just while Brad's bowling, we just saw the logo come up of the Sydney Storm's team sponsor, the Structural Glazing Group. So Brad McGrath pulled them in as a sponsor, and thanks to those guys for their support of the Sydney Storm team and this tournament in general.
Single down there to get Ashiq's account underway. Now we're going to have Vinod Kumar on strike. So his first ball. So Brad McGrath's just got a few tricks up his sleeve there. I think he swung the first one away and he just tried to cut that last one back in. He's varying his pace. Perfect for this wicket here. The odd ball just gripping. If you hit the seam.
Let's see what Brad has here. Third ball of the over.
That was the leg cutter.
Well, a real swing to Sydney Storm the last few overs after a very good start from the Kochi B8. The last 3 overs, momentum's definitely shifted to the Storm. The Australian side be buoyed here. Up their game, Vikram Nehru's introduction to the bowling attack. A fantastic one and increased the pressure on these Kochi B batsmen. Far outside off stump. That would have been a wide if he hadn't gone across to it, but instead it's just a single. So the pressure builds here on the 2 new batsmen. Reminder that the game today is an 18 over a side game due to the rain delays throughout the day and the conditions. Last 2 overs, 17th and 18th over will be a power play. 4 wickets down now, so 4 to go. What has Brad McGrath and Sydney Storm got here? Bit of a slip there from Brad McGrath, a bit of mud caught in his boot. So last ball of Brad McGrath's over. Second over for him, 1 for 9 at the moment.
Bowled beautifully, hasn't he, Rob? Just changed it up, but been accurate and hit this spot.
And even the 4 runs he went for off his first ball was still a decent ball outside off stump. It was just a cracking shot.
Nice Yorker there. Just ambles in, but very wily, a lot of experience. I think would have been a handful as a bowler back in his day. I imagine he probably bowled a pretty heavy ball.
Absolutely. And that works especially well on a lot of the synthetic decks that they play on in Australia. A reminder that most of Australia's LMS is played on synthetic wickets, so it is a real change up for the guys when they go overseas and play on turf. But yeah, he does bowl that heavier ball on the synthetic decks. Same with Ziad Abbas. He has that ability as well. So they're straight into the 10th over. No drinks break just yet. This is young Gus Sloan coming on. He'll be well known to lots of you in LMS globally as well. One of the Australia rep players for the next LMS World Cup. Very, very talented young player, already an LMS legend.
Not a great start. Short down leg side and clipped away for 4. Any bat on that's 4 runs. So just needs to adjust his length here. It's not a bad length, but just needs to be more on off stump and not so far, not so straight.
Absolutely, he'll be disappointed with that Gus. He really knows his cricket well, and at the moment they've got the Kochi Bees under the hammer and under pressure, so just drifting onto the pads and giving them that chance to run it away to the vacant fine leg region.
That's better line and length.
Absolutely, that'll boost his confidence, Gus. He's a very talented player. He really thinks about his game a lot, sometimes maybe too much. So he can be a bit of a confidence player in that respect. Let's see how he goes here with his 3rd delivery.
Opens the face. Nice. It should be 2 there. It's nicely placed. Oh, I think they should have run the 2. They just got like could be overthrow here, but no. Great work by Gus. And to be fair, Vikrant, even though he's not feeling the best, he's got round to back up as well. So great effort.
So if you look at the field here at the moment, so we got a orthodox deep 3rd man, deep cover, deep long off, long on, mid wicket 10 metres off the boundary and a deep backward square leg.
Well, that's going to be 4, I think, Rob.
Definitely through the gap there, so that pierced the gap between the cover fielder and the third man. Excellent shot there from Vinod Kumar. Bit too much width there from Gus. Bit short. Well played by Kumar.
Yeah, a little bit too full and a bit too wide, and just freed the hands. So that's what we're talking about on this wicket. The got to bowl stump to stump on a good length. Don't give the guys any half volleys or any width.
It's a big ball here for Gus Sloan. He'll be disappointed with the over so far. So last delivery of the over. That looked like it was a wide, and it is a wide. So over goes for 11 so far. Gus Sloan will be desperate to bounce back here. Pick up this wicket of the dangerous Vinod Kumar, who's looked good. Only 6 deliveries so far. He's hit 2 boundaries and is on 12 already.
Umpire adding a bit of drama there with the slow wide signal. Oh, that's a cracker,
Beautiful.
that one.
Beautiful bowling there, Gus Sloan. Just the lines you want. Bounced back well at the end of his over. So 11 off Gus's first over and a bit of a momentum shift back to Kochi Bees there, Simon. I mean, if you're in their position and you got 80 on the board after 10 overs in these conditions, you'd be pretty happy, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a little bit misty, but I actually think the outfield's pretty dry now. It's drying very quickly here. Just goes straight through. And the wicket's quite hard. So
Young Deepak back on for his second over here. 20-year-old Sadiq, the young player for the Sydney Storm side. Very talented young bowler. Great cricket career ahead of him.
So Rob, all 5 right arm seamers for the Storm.
Just see this out there to the deep. Does he get around? I think he just cut that off there with a dive, Simon.
Given 4. Great effort out there, but didn't quite cut it in. But a fantastic shot there from Ashik. Nice straight bat. Just lets the ball come onto it. Punched away.
That was a beautiful shot. Full face of the bat. Enough power to get it through. Let's see how Deepak can respond here.
Into the wicket. Wonder if that was read by Ashik. But Gus Sloan gets round. Good arm out there.
Got away with it a bit there, Sadiq. So important over for him here. But yes, everyone's a right arm seamer in this Sydney Storm attack, and even the 2 extra guys that haven't bowled yet who could bowl are both right arm seamers as well. So not a lot of variation. They'll back themselves as a big hitting batting side though. The entire team bats, so they'll feel they can chase any score. So they'll just be looking, I think they'll be aiming to try and keep them down to about 140 here. They'll be happy with Sydney Storm, and they'll back themselves to chase that. So Deepak has bounced back well with a couple of singles last 2 balls. 2 balls left of his second over. Both Ashik and Kumar have looked confident so far. Seeing it out the middle already. Trying to respond after that devastating double play for Kochi B8. And that's a big hit there, Simon. Well, Ashik showing his power there. He was onto that in a flash. Just a bit short from Deepak. Clears the mid-wicket boundary easily. Mohammad Ashik moves on to 14 off just 7 balls. Vinod Kumar, the other end, 13 off 8 balls. So a real response here from the Kochi Bees. As we just see here, the replay. Deepak, bit short. Ashik onto it in a flash. And that really cleared the boundary easily. Good response there from Deepak. Wide outside off stump, so just a single out to the captain, Ziad Abbas at cover. Brings an end to second over for Deepak, and an expensive one there. 2 overs, none for 25 for Sadeep so far. Takes us to 11 overs, 93 for 4. Projected score now up to 152, which would be a very good score off 18 overs in these conditions. Sydney Storm have got to dig deep here. Bounce back. Who are they going to turn to? Looks like the captain, Ziad Abbas, is taking the responsibility on his own shoulders. He knows that the team need a bounce back, and he's backing himself to do it. He's bowled 2 overs, none for 20 so far. Going on for his 3rd over, and Storm really need a response here, Simon. This has been an excellent counter-attacking partnership so far.
Yeah, certainly, Rob. And I'm going to leave you to enjoy it with Andy Percy. So all Sydney Storm affair in the commentary box, so don't be too biased. Step aside now. Great first up delivery from Ziad and a dot ball. So welcome in, Perse.
Good start there from Abbas. Welcome, Andy Percy. So Andy Percy, the Sydney LMS competition manager and also the Sydney Storm team manager. Very well-known guy in LMS globally. And well, let's look at that here. Andy Percy. Ziad be desperately disappointed there with that wide delivery down the leg side. It's all about building the pressure. Huss did well to take that and prevent further runs, but
we had a big chat about trying to keep those extras down, so Ziad will be disappointed with that one.
I guess difficult bowling conditions. The ball will be getting quite wet now with the outfield. That one, good response outside off stump, just into the covers. You do feel that Sydney Storm need a wicket here, just to change this momentum again. These two batsmen have looked excellent, Ashik and Kumar. 17 off of 11 for Ashik, including that massive 6. Ziad Abbas in again.
This is come back here from Ziad. Yeah, it looks like they bat deep. The Kochi B side. A bit unlucky there with the double play, being a lot of these players newer to LMS, but Sydney Storm obviously happy to take that. We'll need some tight bowling here from the skipper and the rest of the players to ensure it's a chaseable total.
Absolutely. So Ziad Abbas, what's he got? The Sydney Storm captain, a well-known player globally to all in LMS Australia rep player. Lovely ball outside off stump, good length. They're only going to get... Oh, that would have been highly risky to go for the 2 there. Both the long off and cover coming in quickly to cut that off. And you sense, well, all these overs are crucial with only 6.1 overs left. But I sense this is a crucial stage at the moment because after Sudeep and Gus getting hit a bit with a few of those boundaries, it's important for Storm to respond here. Kumar looking good, 14 off 9. Carefully played into the offside. Ziad Abbas will field off his own bowling and bring an end to his 3rd over. So good over there from Ziad.
Yeah, good comeback there after the wide. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ziad finishes off these overs. So reminder, it's 18 overs, so we've just got the 6 to go. Be approaching 100 runs now.
So the restrictions are 3 bowlers can bowl 4 overs. And then the rest can only bowl a maximum of 3 overs, given that it's a 18 over a side reduced match. Ashik has looked really dangerous to me, Andy. He was onto that short ball from, it wasn't even that short a ball from Sudeep Deepak in a flash. Got behind it and really cleared that mid-wicket boundary easily. This is an interesting call. Mick McGrath coming back on for his 3rd over. He's got exceptional bowling figures so far, 1 for 13, another important early wicket. He opened both in the first game for Sydney Storm and here today. Let's see how this goes. Bit of outswing Normie, but I wouldn't have thought the ball would be swinging at this stage. And that's the issue. He's an outswing bowler. So if he starts drifting onto the legs or down the leg side, then that's a risk.
I think Ziad has sensed, to your point in the last over, that we do need a wicket here to break partnership, and Mick's proven to be a wicket taker for our side. Took 2 in the first game, 1 today. So be looking to add to that total for the tournament.
Determined look on McGrath's face. He comes in, good full ball outside off stump. That's just going to be the single down there to long on. So Percy, can you just talk us through the field there? You've got a better visual, as shown by my missed call of the good shot catch earlier.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get everyone in. It's a little difficult. So for those at home, we're on a balcony at the moment. So we've got the captain, Ziad Abbas, it looks to be, who's down at long on. And we've got Mick coming in. And so that's going to go through the gap. Ziad's coming around. We don't have a long off, so Brad's quite wide there. But Ziad's come around to cut it off. And we've got Sudeep Deepak, who's out at square. We've got, is that Jimmy Chauffeur? Up into cover. So pretty traditional LMS field as you're approaching these final overs.
Just trying to curtail the runs, all the guys out in the deep. Important to stop any boundaries at this stage. So good over so far from McGrath after the disappointment of the first ball wide. So important that he finishes well here because Ziad Abbas pulled it back a bit with 5 off the previous over. Important just to stem these runs because you feel that Ashik's the kind of batsman that really wants to get after you, and both batsmen now up to almost identical scores, 18 and 19 off 13 balls. Both have looked really good so far. Again, carefully played down the ground.
Yeah, they're looking to get a bit more aggressive with the running, I think. We'll see in the final overs. They do have to be mindful, so they've only got the 4 wickets.
The way they're playing here, Andy, suggests to me that they feel this is a big partnership between the two of them. Being relatively careful and guarding their wickets suggests that maybe their number 7 and 8 may not be the biggest hitters, but from most of these Indian sides, we see they bat right down so far in the tournament, so could be wrong there. It's out to the offside again, so another single. So a bit of a sedate period of play here, which is what Sydney Storm will be after. Another good over there, so just 6 off that over from Mick McGrath. Following up from 5 off the previous over, obviously Adabas, means that we're 13 overs, 104 for 4. Vinod Kumar, 19 off 14. Mohammed Ashik looking really good on 20 off 14. And again, the projected score, Andy, is around that 144 mark, which is what it's been hovering around for pretty much most of the innings. There was a little period where it was up to about 160, but that's what we thought before the game could be around the par score, is that 140 to 145, and I think anything over 145 will be very difficult for Sydney Storm to chase.
Yeah, we've got a lot of experienced guys and big hitters in the team, but in Sydney we don't traditionally play on a lot of turf wickets, so it is a new experience for a lot of the guys playing their LMS, but I think the guys will back themselves with any total, but obviously looking to limit the damage here in the final overs as we have Vikrant Nehru coming on to bowl, so he's looked the most likely, quickest bowler in our team, along with Gus probably I'd say, and so he was good early, 1 for 14 off his 2 overs, so I think this really does just show, as we were discussing last over, Zayed Abbas really looking to break this partnership now, as Mohammed Ashik moves to 20 off 14 and Vinod Kumar 19 off 14. So a good little partnership here for Kochi B, but they'll be looking to accelerate now.
As you saw from that graphic, 10 and over takes them up into the mid-150s. They carry on at 8 and over, 143, 144 will be the score. But yeah, it's just could go either way from here. You sense that if they get a boundary or a 6 in the next 2 or 3 balls, then there'll be a big momentum shift to Kochi B's. 13.1 overs. Vikrant Nehru has looked exceptional so far, 2.1 overs, 1 for 15. What's he got here? Into the offside, so just another single there. He's happy, content, 2 batsmen content just to keep ticking it over here.
They've been quite happy to do that the last few overs, so the bowlers having to field a lot of their own deliveries. They're just looking to punch it out for a quick single. So might suggest the Kochi B pretty comfortable with their bowling attack.
But it also shows the lines, Andy. A lot of these ones in the last 3 overs have been good balls outside off stump. As soon as the Storm bowlers have drifted onto the pads or onto the body, they've been onto it in a flash, these Kochi batsmen. So shows how difficult it's been to score in those offside lines. We saw one cracking boundary off Brad McGrath, or we've seen 2 actually through extra covers, but they've been few and far between because batsmen are really having to work on anything outside off stump. Just got to stay off the pads, and I'm sure that's what Ziad will be telling everyone, and that's what their take home was after the first game, I think, as well, Andy, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Hasajazi did pretty well there. Ball just died on him. Really got to limit those extra runs. Really just builds the totals.
Vikrant Nehru in for the 4th delivery of his 3rd over. That was a bit straighter, but he's not going to get punished for it. It was a good ball. Full ball, so it had to be played down the ground.
So a really good period here for the Sydney Storm. So they limit the boundaries, just ones, dots. The odd wide, though, which we'll be looking to cut out for the final few overs.
So can Vikrant Nehru finish his 3rd over well here? That's the last delivery of his over. He's gone for 1 for 17 so far. Straight down the ground there. That is massive. Straight into the glass, right in front of us. That could cause some serious damage. KV sitting on the chair right in front of me. Could have lost his kneecap there. Hasib behind the computer could have had glass in his eyes. I was not concerned. I saw that happen earlier with no damage. But wow, shows the strength of this glass here in India.
That could be quite concerning. They haven't looked to go aggressive for a while now. Just advanced straight down at Vikrant Nehru, who's looked really, really good with the ball. So they're showing a bit of intent now here.
Look at this. This was a wonderful shot. Maybe just a little bit full, was it, from Vikrant Nehru, but Mohammed Ashik onto it in an absolute flash. Brilliant shot. No, he just advanced down the wicket. So 2 steps down the wicket, bang, straight into the commentary box. KV almost lost his leg there. Looks like a very relieved man. I feel at that moment I have to call him back into the commentary box to talk us through that. Hope that you've almost got over your heart attack there, KB.
I'm good, all good. How are you breathing? Rob lost somewhere for a while.
And so we've got Brad McGrath coming on now for the 15th. So this is his 3rd over. And he was good early. Got a wicket breakthrough when we needed it, 1 for 11.
Both the batters going well. Mohammad Ashik and Vinod Kumar. I think somewhere you just allow this extra powers over here to build on.
Yeah, they've been together for a long time now. Mohammad Sheikh's really launched 27 off 16 he's moved to after that big 6 in the last over. So he looks like the damaging batsman between the two. I think they'll be trying to get Mohammad Sheikh to face as many of these final deliveries as possible. And here's a replay of the 6.
Yeah, we'll see this one, the 6. Comes down the track, gets it to good connection. It's sailing, and hits the door of the commentary box. I think Hasib was just all shaken up when there was those.
Oh, we're going to see it again. Here we go. Into the glass of the commentary team. Very excited to see that door still in place. No broken glass. No injured commentators.
Yeah, it's been made of hard glass. But at the moment this partnership going well.
So good start. It's been a good over here for Brad McGrath. Just the 3 runs from the 4 deliveries so far.
You could feel the pressure on Rob. Even after sitting in an AC room, he's sweating.
He had to get out of the commentary as soon as it hit the glass.
Yeah, he just wants to run away from the commentary box.
Has to flee.
Yeah, but I think he was more safe inside rather than sitting outside. Just been worked away towards the log on for a single, so he'll keep the strike with him.
Excellent over.
117 for 4.
Great over there from Brad McGrath. Just the 4 runs from it. So they're really, apart from that 6, they've limited the runs here in the final overs with just 3 to go. Mohammad Sheikh looking the likely one.
Yeah, they can keep it to around 130, 135. I think this wicket is good still to chase on. We already saw one game, 141 chase down of the last ball, the last game. So there's nothing which has changed of the wicket. So if you play well, if you can play on the merit of the ball, you can cover the line, you can really get good value for your shots.
Absolutely. And so we've got Zia Abbas. He's coming on now, the captain. So this will be his final over.
Yeah, he's bowled well in the power play.
Absolutely.
3 overs 25. No success. That's down the ground. Where it is going. It's gone for the 6 runs.
Not the start the captain is after there, but Mohammad Sheikh looks a very quality player. Hit a few 6s already in his innings as he moves to 35 off 19. So Zia Abbas is going to need to change things up. Can't let Mohammad Sheikh keep dictating terms like this.
Yeah, you cannot let him go after the bowler this way. You just have to find a way of getting him out now. Because if you don't, then the score is heading to 150.
Absolutely. They'll be desperate to get rid of Mohammad Sheikh here and bring in a new batsman. They'll have to get set under difficult circumstances with not too many balls remaining.
Batter slipped over there. Hope that everything is fine. Meanwhile, co-commentator Rob is just getting his stats right. Who should open the innings, who should not open the innings. That's in the air, and that is going in the hands, taken. The big fellow.
Brad McGrath. One of the safest pair of hands in the Sydney side. Excellent catch from Brad. And that's the big wicket of Muhammad Ashiq.
Yeah, Muhammad Ashiq going. He came down the track for a big shot and he's found the field over there, 35 of 20. That is why that lefter was out immediately of Rob's bag, and that has produced a wicket.
Rob Stevenson's thrilled to see Muhammad Ashiq leaving now. So much safer place in the commentary box now.
Yeah, he's feeling now relaxed. Down the track comes Muhammad Ashiq and finds a fielder. Well, the safest fielder on this side. He himself is a storm, so it's hard to get past him.
Great catch there from Brad McGrath. He was right on the rope there, so it didn't...
He knew, the awareness was very good.
Absolutely.
He knew where the ropes are. He knew if 1 inch he moves back, that's going to be 6. So he had a good balance of his body and always had the eyes on the ball.
Yes.
Driven this time. Through the offside. Shivaraja is off the mark straight away with the singles. The captain has a wicket in this over. After being hit for a 6 down the ground, he gets his man.
So Vinod Kumar moves to the on strike. He's got to be the one to lift from here. He was playing second fiddle in this partnership. He's 23 off 20. But now as the set batsman, he's going to have to accelerate this total. So just a single there for Vinod. Sivaraj coming on for his second delivery. So excellent comeback here for Ziad Abbas after getting hit for a maximum on the first delivery. He's got a wicket and 2 runs off the next 3. And they're running hard here, looking at 2. Sadeep comes down as one of the faster fielders in our team. Got quite an age gap with some of our players in the Sydney Storm side. We've got 3 players in their 40s, one in turning 40 next year. And we got some young blood with Deepak being the under 22 player. He's 20. And got Vikrant Nehru, who's only 24, I think, and Gus Sloan's 26. So a bit of a mix in ages, but they're all gelling very well, which has been excellent to see over the initial days of the tournament. And so that's 125 now for Kochi B. Projected score 142. What are you expecting here in the final 2 overs?
I think with 10 balls left, they'll at least try to score 16 to 20 runs.
Yeah.
But McGrath having his experience, let's see how does he goes in this over. This over will be important.
Very.
He doesn't consider too many runs. The momentum will definitely shift back to the bowling side. First ball, chance of a run out if he would have been quick, but he was appealing.
So the umpire just signalling. I went down the leg side, so not LB. We'll have a look here at the replay.
Yeah, that will be 1 leg ball.
Yeah, easy decision there for the umpire. They've been good in this tournament so far.
Yeah, fabulous umpiring. There's no doubt of that. They've really been so good. That's been hit through the offside. Fielder can't get to this one boundary. Poor delivery. A width was offered over the outside of him.
So Vinod Kumar doing exactly what his team needs as the set batsman, looking to accelerate this total and go past 140, edging towards 150. They'll be stoked with that, the total. Kochi B at this stage. So this is Mick McGrath in his final over. He's the opening bowler for the Sydney Storm. So I think we'll probably see Vikrant Nehru close things out for the side. Again, hits the pads. That'll just be a dot ball, so excellent. Probably missed out there a little bit, Vinod Kumar.
That is better line. That is what you need.
So good bounce back there from Mick McGrath. Dot ball. Really needs to finish strong here as the strike bowler for the Sydney Storm.
Lawful toss. Where is going? Straight to the field in the deep will only be a singles. Still a better over. Just 6 of 4.
It's just about finishing strong here now for Mick. One more delivery. So Sivaraja, it's a tough spot coming in and having to get going straight away. Doesn't have any chance to just get his eye in. The team needs him to try and hit boundaries. Moves his feet. Excellent shot. That's going to go the distance. Big 6. So not what the Sydney Storm were looking for, but Sivaraja, what a shot.
What a fabulous try that is.
Here's the replay.
Superb hitting over there. Waits, low full toss, transfers the weight onto the delivery, and then puts this one for a 6 runs.
So expensive over there in the end for Mick. It was 12 runs from it. So he's going to finish there with figures of 1 for 30 off his 4 overs. So shame there that last delivery, but the boys need to move on to the next over, and it is going to be Vikrant Nehru. So pulled himself off the toilet to be here for this innings. He's got a touch of Delhi belly, but trying to produce for the team. And he's been excellent so far, 1 for 23 off his 3 overs. So projected target, they're saying 146. I think they'll be looking for a little bit more here in the final over.
Puts this one to the onside. That's been placed in the gap for 4 runs.
Excellent shot there, no risk. Just assessed where the fielders were and found the gap. Great start there for Vinod Kumar to this final over.
Yeah, Vikrant, first ball dispatched for the 4. Vinod, who gets on top of the ball and then puts this one away for 4. It's a Shivraj. This time down towards the deep point. There will be run out.
The umpires just confirmed that for us. So some sharp fielding there. Yeah, big moment there with the set batsman now departing. So as we know, in last man stands, final ball of the innings. If you hit a 6, it's worth 12. So they have 2 new batsmen at the crease. That's not right. So here's a replay of the dismissal. So our Gus Sloan, who's got an excellent arm, throws it into the keeper. Hasajazi, bit of confusion if they were going to go for the 2. Sharp work there from Huss.
Good work there by the wicketkeeper. New batter Dev Prasad NK. Just 3 balls remaining. Foolish delivery. Low full toss driven. Only will get a single. Now Shivraj on strike. 2 balls left. Where is he targeting?
Well, we saw him hit that excellent 6 in the last over, so we know he can do it. Different bowler here, though. Vikrant Nehru, a bit quicker. Appealing for a wide there, and he will get it. So I just want to really limit the extras here in this final over. The Sydney Thunder, Sydney Sixers, I should say. One of them, Sydney Storm, is that it? Couple of name changes here for the Sydney Storm.
You brought all the big bash teams over here. So just have to be careful that they don't keep on flying over here. That's in the air. Someone is getting under this one. Who is settling under this one? No one. Ball lands in no man's land. They're coming back for the second. 2 runs last ball of this innings.
So this looks to be a pretty good total now for Kochi B. 146 on the board. Final delivery here for Vikrant Nehru. Sivaraja on strike. This will be worth 12 if he can hit a maximum.
Final ball of this match. First innings. Goes hard at this one. That's 4.
Such a flat shot there. It's actually a 6, so it's a home run. Looks like it was going to be 4 off the bat. We'll get that replay in a sec, but you can see the fans on the sidelines. They're going up. They love it. What a cameo here from Sivaraja. 23 off 7 to finish it for the Kochi B8.
What a shot that was. That has fetched them 12 runs. Last ball, just touch a fuller. Outside off stump. He slashes hard. That's flown in the air. And that's gone all the way for 6. So that's going to be home run. So 158 is what Kochi B8 has managed to post. Thank you to some fine knocks over there. Top scorer Mohammad Ashik getting 35. Vinod getting 33. At the top we saw Lijo getting 30. And then in the end 7 balls 23 from Shivaraj helped them to get to 158 in 18 overs with a loss of 6 wickets.
Yeah, it's a big total here, Kochi B8. It's always hard when you're the bowling side and you're coming off after being hit for a home run, having to reset, focus on the batting. The bowler who is the opening batsman as well, so he'll be feeling very disappointed about that 6. But he's got to reset now. And so we've got the bowling figures. Mick McGrath opened up. He got 1 for 30. Ziad Abbas opened with him, 1 for 34. Sadeep Deepak, a little expensive there in the middle, none for 25. Vikrant Nehru, who was excellent early, but finishes with 1 for 43 after that home run. Brad McGrath was exceptional, 1 for 14 off his 3. And Gus Sloan just the 1 over for no wickets for 11 runs.
So we dive into a break and we'll come back for the run chase.
Well,
So we're back with a run chase. Batting first, Kochi B8 scored 158 with a loss of 6 wickets. Last ball was a wonderful strike over there by Shivaraj, getting a home run. When you hit the 6 of the last ball, you get 6 more additional runs to the total. That was a super strike to finish the innings. But now a lot of tasks on hands over there for the openers of Sydney Storm. They have to chase down 159. I've got with me Rob. What do you think about this run chase?
Well, I think it's going to be a very difficult run chase. We were talking a lot during that first innings. That's probably, I think you're saying, 145 was probably what Sydney would have been ambitious of chasing, and they were looking well on for that. I mean, at 16 overs, it was 127 runs on the board. Only 2 overs left to bowl, and then we saw 31 runs come off the last 10 deliveries, including the home run, as you say. 6 off the last ball, home run worth 12. And it's just basically up to Ziad Abbas, we can see him there on shot now, just to raise the morale of his troops and tell them they're all big hitters, and they just got to back themselves here, but they're going to have to get going from the off. They can't be seeing any dot balls. They've got to turn any of those 1s into 2s. They've really got to keep the pressure on, because chasing a total like that, you can't have any early overs only going for 4 or 5 runs. They've just got to avoid that.
Yeah, they just have to come gun blazing out in the middle, start hitting 4s and 6s. That's the only option they have, because if they get in the shell, then I think it will be too difficult to break that shell.
Absolutely, and I mean, we just still see their batting stats on there. That was a great knock there at the end from Siva. 23 off just 7 balls, including the home run. Could that be the X factor difference in this game? I think that just takes it a bit too far for Sydney Storm. I know that we've got a lot of viewers for this game at the moment, and a lot of people watching back in Australia, Sydney Storm's home. And a big shout out to all of you that are watching back there. A lot of the rest of you watching lastmanstands.com. It's the global game, the global way to play cricket. If you just go to the website lastmanstands.com or lastmanstands.com/join, you'll see how easy it is just to join your leagues wherever it is across the world. So check out the website, and hopefully we see you playing LMS at the next India Super Series. Fantastic inaugural India Super Series so far. KV, I mean, what's been your take on it so far?
It's been an innovative format. We saw Test cricket, we saw One Day cricket, we saw T20. Now we've seen the 100 ball. I think this is nearly something like 100 ball. But the thing is, the concept that you have just kept 8 aside, which always keeps the fielder engaged in the game. Generally, when you have 11 fielders, you would see few fielders just go for a sleep because the ball doesn't come to them. But with this concept of 8, 1 bowler, 1 wicketkeeper with 6 fielders only in the field, they have to be alert every time.
Absolutely. Everyone matters in Last Man Stands format. As we see the first ball here, Vinod Kumar outside off stump, left there from Vikram Nehru. The other thing about the 8 aside, Gobi, is every player is so important, because in a normal 11 aside 2020 match, you normally get 2 or 3 guys that don't really bowl or don't really bat. While in LMS, it's very rare that you go through a game of LMS without everyone having to be involved heavily at some point. But let's see here, Vikram Nehru, the opener for Sydney Storm, he looked fantastic in their first game, Kobe. He got a 51 off 31 balls, I think it was, which featured 4 sixes. And the 6s he all hit were straight back sixes right down the ground. So it'll be interesting to see if he can replicate that. And look at those stats there from James Chauffeur. Incredible stats. He played 89 matches, a batting average of 93 and a strike rate of 185. He's got a century in there and 36 50s and 89 knocks. So he plays his cricket in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. He's got a GoPro on his head there, so let's see what happens. Sees out his first ball just into the leg side, and that'll be a single. So there's a lot of... Oh, no, they're coming back for 2. This is dangerous. Is it going to make it? Chauffeur makes it back, so a good call there from Nehru. But wow, we almost saw Chauffeur run out with his first ball of the tournament there, Kobe.
Well, that's good running. Nehru spotted a chance of 2. James responded to that call. But as you mentioned, the strike rate on the high side, 184. If he gets a run with that strike rate, then the game is on for the Sydney Storm.
Absolutely. It's crucial that these openers lead by example here. We just see that being nudged down to the offside for a single. Just a quick look at the field here. So just trying to check out if they're using the power play early. They're not. So there's 3 fielders each side of the wicket. So straight long on, deep square leg, fine leg, wide third man, deep point and long off. Everyone on the boundary just to try and cut down these runs early.
Yeah, more than these two batters, it looks like you want to run the runs. You're always off your chair. As before the ball is delivered, you just want to complete 2 runs. So when the batter hits the ball, you complete 2, so you get 5 runs. You're in such a hurry to complete the runs.
Absolutely. It's all about being fit, this day and age. So here we go, last ball of the over coming up, and it's been a very good first over by the Kochi Bees, just 4 runs off the first 4 deliveries. Well, sorry, end of the over there. So that is just 4 off the over. So a wonderful first over there from the Kochi Bees. Pressure early on Sydney Storm.
Yeah, that's a good start over there by Vinod Kumar. Not letting too many runs, but somewhere they have to attack. They have to start getting those big shots because they cannot leave it too late.
Absolutely, and we see the logo on screen now, Structural Glazing Group. That's the Sydney team sponsor, so thanks to those guys for sponsoring the guys in this tournament, helping make it all happen. That's what Sydney needs a bit of, a wide down the leg side, and we see in last man stands format, the wides and no balls go to the batsman, hence why James Chauffeur's score just increased by 1 there. We can see the GoPro on the head of Chauffeur there. Lovely looking shot into the offside, but I think they'll just pick up a single there.
So talk more about that GoPro, what it is to our viewers.
Well, he's got all the gadgets here, Chauffeur. Like in the first innings, he was flying at not the first innings, just before the game, flying his drone over the ground. Got a bit of footage there, and then the GoPro on his head. It's the sports action camera attached to his helmet, and there he's got hold of that there. Well, that's a wonderful shot out to the deep.
It's been taken.
Well, there you go. That's the second time this game I've said it's a wonderful shot, and it's been taken at long on.
And now what is happening? He's running, but he has to take a walk back. Maybe he couldn't get the long distance. The ball went too high. So first wicket down over here of Sydney Storm.
It's going to be interesting to see that replay there. I thought it was a big hit initially, but as you say, it just went too high. Didn't quite have the legs on it. And that's a massive, massive blow for Sydney Storm there. Vikram Nehru opened the batting and got a 50 for him in the first game. Look how exhausted he looked there. He's been sick all day. Managed to get out of bed to come down to this ground, and he's not looking at all well there. So disappointing to see Vikram only hit 1 run off 4 balls. Massive early blow from Sindo Rose. And here we got Hasajazi coming out at number 3. So he's more of a steady accumulator. But again, he got a 50 in the first game, 50 off about 33 balls. So he's got runs in the tournament so far, and Sydney Storm need the runs now, that's for sure.
Yeah, Sydney needs the runs. There's no question in that. But on the other hand, Kochi will be trying to pick up more wickets. They've got one man who got a half century in the last game. They've got rid of him. The another half century has just walked out in the middle. Hijazi. Oh, slow delivery. Yeah, this is where the tricks are played. The length, which is important. Harding. Now it's a time that, if you just look at the Haas record, 11,000 runs, 373 games, average wonderful into the nearly 50. Strike rate of 150, that's a good strike rate.
It's a good strike rate. It's a very good strike rate, but then a lot of the other guys in the Sydney team will be more up around that 180 plus strike rate. So Huss is definitely there now to be the guy to anchor the innings. He'll be hoping to get his 50 off about mid-30s and have everyone hitting him around him. But it's about whether Sydney Storm have the time to do that now. First couple of overs, they've only got 8 on the board. First wicket down already, and that's a big hitter, Vikram Nehru. So Kochi B is looking the part at the moment, going for a 3 out of 3 record in the group stages after winning their first 2 games. So looking to top the ladder, which is very important in this tournament. Will give them a much easier draw in the second round, take them straight through to the quarterfinals. So they'll be desperate to win this.
If we're just looking at the overall career of Has, 103 half centuries he has, and not a single century.
It's probably the calibre of the team that he plays in. You generally find that in last man stands. If you play for a better side, and he plays for one of the best sides in Sydney, he opens the batting all the time. but then because he's got enough good batsmen on the side, he doesn't really get the chance to come back in. A reminder that in last man stands you have to retire at 50, so you're only going to come back in as an opener once all the rest of the wickets have fallen. Well, on the other hand, if you're playing for a weaker side, you score your 50 and a lot of the other guys get out, then you obviously have more chance to get a century because you've got more balls to face.
I think that in coming time there will be change in this rule that if a top 2 have got a half century, then another number 3, if he gets a half century, he doesn't have to retire, he can continue his innings.
It's an interesting concept, but I mean the whole preface of Last Man Stand since the start, it was launched in London 2005, so 18 years ago, has all been about trying to maximise the involvement of all players in the game, hence why it's 8 aside, and the retirement at 50. All the rules like that are just to try and get everyone to have a bat.
I understand that you want to get everyone engaged, everyone into the game. But then if you look at the crowd, if someone who's got a 50, they want to see him getting 100. And the more the hundreds will come up in this format, you will see more of a crowd getting engaged into this. Because if, I'll just tell you one thing, if, for example, if you take Steve Smith is batting, and if he gets a 50, and then he has to retire, I think the crowd will not tune in as which if he keeps on batting.
It's an interesting potential rule change there. Well, you know that you've got Wayne Grieve and Bjorn Briggs, the founders of LMS globally. They're here in Delhi at the moment, so I think if you have a few quiet words with them in the bar after the day's play, then you may be able to force your centuries rule in, and then we'll see how that goes. But I mean, look at this now, 3 overs, 12 for 1. This is not the start that Sydney Storm would have been after. Lost the early wicket of the dangerous Vikram Nehru, but it's been great bowling so far by the Kochi Bees. See Sindo Rose coming back on. He got a wicket in his first over. The big wicket of Nehru. Can he follow it up with a second? Bowling to Hasajazi now.
That's in the air, but will be far away from the field. They'll get a single over there.
Well, as you were saying in the innings break, KB, they really just do need one of these overs to have a bunch of maximums in it. A few sixes in succession or in close proximity to each other just to get their confidence back up, because the way this is going, 16 balls in, only 13 on the board.
Oh, what a shot. This is definitely going for 6 runs. Finally, good connection over there from James. The big fellow has found the big shot out of his books.
Well, there we go. That's just what they needed, Sydney Storm. Chauffeur muscling that away from outside off to pull it right over mid-wicket. Let's just have another look at this here. Was it slightly short of a length? Little bit, but he was onto that in a flash, and that's good power there.
Good cricket. That is good cricket.
So potentially the momentum shift that Sydney Storm need. 3.2 overs, move on to 19. Reminder that they're chasing almost 160 here. He's gone for the same kind of shot again, and inside into the gap. Now be picked up in the deep. There's also another factor in play here, KB, and for those of you watching at home, Sydney Storm will be desperate to get within 20% of the runs required, because if you get within 20% of the run required as the losing side, then you pick up 2 extra bonus points. If they pick up the bonus points today, then they've still got a chance tomorrow to get through with a win over Erode Panthers. So that's a big factor in play here.
So a lot of work to be done, a lot of calculation to be done by Sydney side. 21 on the board. James has just opened up his arms, comes down the track, doesn't get the connection as he wanted it, but will get a single. Maybe halfway mark, just forgot the password of the Wi-Fi. That's why the connection was not such a handsome one. 4 overs done, score is 22 for 1.
So much better over there for Sydney Storm. The 6 will give them a lot of confidence, but they need a few more like that, as we were saying. They now need 137 runs off 70 balls. That's almost up to 2 a ball now, which starts to get difficult. Anything over 2 a ball required is hard. Again, a thank you to all of you watching in India, in England, South Africa, Australia, all around the world. Great to have you tuned in. Great to see high viewer numbers for this game. And as said before, let's just watch this ball. It's going to be a single down the ground. They could come back for 2. They're trying it. And they come back for 2 easily in the end. But as mentioned before, this is some of the elite cricketers playing LMS from the global competition. But LMS is all about the masses. There's almost 300,000 players globally playing Last Man Stand, so there's leagues available for everyone. So if you want to get out there and have a T20 hit in the biggest global LMS, biggest global T20 competition, just go to lastmanstands.com/join. Anyone can sign up, and we look forward to having you involved. Back in Australia, we've got guys tuning in at about 10:30 at night on the east coast of Australia in Sydney, New South Wales, backing their team here, but at the moment, it's not going so well, Kobe.
Not going so well. That should be a wicket. No, looks like it's going down the leg side, says the umpire.
That's a big moment there. Could have gone either way. I'm sure we'll have a look at this replay and see. But he was obviously thinking he was drifting way down leg. Let's just have a look here.
Yeah, the replay will confirm whether this was going down the leg side or was he just cracking onto the leg stump. Oh, that was caught on the back leg. That was out.
I think he's been lucky there, Hasajazi, to get away with that. Schaefer out to the deep, moves on to 20. He's looked very good so far, James Schaefer. Moves on to 20 runs.
Yeah, the thing only could be the ball was swinging, so that is where the umpire might have just thought that it might have just drifted down the leg side.
That's it, maybe just drifting down the leg side. That's clearly why the umpire didn't give it out, but it could have been given, that one for sure. That helped Sydney Storm wide down the leg side, a couple of freebies there. So one ball left in the 5th over. They would have been hoping to get up to about 40, I would have thought, off the first 5 overs here. So they're a bit short of that. So a 4 or a 6 will be what James Schaefer is after here. Let's see what he's got.
You just need to get those big hits over there. He gets outside edge. This is going down towards the third man. Will get a boundary.
That's just what Sydney Storm needed, just to raise confidence a bit more. They had a freebie at the wide down the leg side and then a 4 off the last ball. So effectively the last ball of that over has gone for 6 runs. Boosts them up to 33 for 1 after 5 overs. Just a reminder that this is an 18 over a side game, so just 13 overs left for Sydney Storm to score 130 runs. They really do need a few maximums and a few more boundaries just to take the pressure off that strike rate.
Yeah, 126 needed of 65. So it's almost double the runs of the balls. So it's nearly 12 runs per over.
And that's the thing, once it starts getting to 2 runs a ball required, once it's over that, it becomes very difficult. The one positive they've got is they've only lost 1 wicket so far, and they've got some seriously big hitters to come. Not least Ziad Abbas, the captain, and big Brad McGrath that we saw bowl well out there today, take a solid catch as well. Both very big hitters. Both quite straight hitters as well, which I feel will be good in these conditions with the short straight boundaries as well. Not very good for our safety though, I wouldn't have thought, but good for the batsman.
Yeah, good for the game of cricket. One might enjoy, the other might not. Spinner into attack, goes for the big shot, gets it. Thick is outside edge down towards the third man for a single.
So we'll be looking at this now, Hussey. We'll be beginning to feel a bit of the pressure, I think, because I say he normally opens and he's normally the guy that gets his 50 off 35 balls. He's now 7 off 9 balls, 8 off 10 balls. So he's had the time to get his eye in a bit, and now he'll be feeling like he's got to get going on it. Schaefer, on the other hand, has looked very good. 24 off 14 balls, showing why he's got a batting average of over 90 in LMS.
Down towards the long one for a single. Singles will not help.
So the important figure is the 127 figure for Sydney Storm. If they don't reach 127, they'll be out of the tournament, effectively barring a astronomical win over Road Panthers tomorrow. And they're well aware of that. As mentioned before, there's a 20% 2-point bonus rule in last man stand. So if Kochi Bees win the game by more than 20% of the runs, they'll pick up the 2 extra bonus points. If Sydney is the losing side, fail to chase, but they get over 127, there we go. Stopping. Well, that's a big moment there.
They didn't wanted this wicket to go down, but they have lost James. Trying to came down the track, couldn't read the spin, and rather than going over the covers, trying to go straight up, has been undone by the turn.
There we go. So, yep, he was going straight for the shorter boundary. Batted really well there, James Schaefer. 25 of 16 balls. Was looking really good out there and he would have felt set. So that's a big, big blow for Sydney Storm there. Interesting here, they put Gus Sloan in. So Gus Sloan is coming in at 4. So the two big hitters are still in the sheds, Brad McGrath and Ziad Abbas. That's not to say that Gus can't be a big hitter, but again, he's more like Huss, orthodox quality batsman. Great bowling there from Siva Raj. That was a wonderful delivery, just tempted him into a bit of turn, and then sharp keeping. Crucial wicket there to stop James Schaefer in his stride just when he was looking the part. So 1-2-3 required of 61 balls to win. Sydney Storm will be knowing that 127 run mark is what they've got to get past to keep their hopes alive going into tomorrow.
End of the fine over, just 3 and a wicket. Gus Sloan was walked out in the middle.
Well, look at those stats there, KV. Gus is a youngster, but he's already played 356 matches of LMS, over 12,000 runs and an average of 65 and a strike rate of 194. There you go, he's got a few centuries. 4 centuries for Gus Sloan there, 139 50s. That is an exceptional LMS record, and it shows why Gus is one of the LMS Australia's international rep players, along with Ziad Abbas, who's also playing in the Storm side today. But they'll be dreadfully disappointed, I think, at the moment if they look at that scorecard, KV. 6 overs, 36 for 2. That's more what they would have been looking at from about 4 overs. So there's a lot of pressure here now. 10 overs left. Sorry, 12 overs left. 124 to get.
Yeah, the amount of games they've played. If there was no rule of a retire after getting a 50, I think most of the players would have got 25,000, 30,000 runs. More than what the international cricketers who plays the ICC event. I think then the talks would have been all about them.
Well, let's see Gus's second ball here. He's faced out his first one. Big moment. He's an important player for the side, Gus Sloan. He's gone hard there, hasn't got hold of it. A lot of pressure on these Storm batsmen out there now. No chance to get set. And 2 dot balls in 3 following that stumping. Things looking very difficult now. 1 off the last 4 balls for Sydney Storm, and you sense that maybe this match is going away from the COVID.
Yeah, they've not applied themselves that well. That has been played away towards the onside fielder. Is there in the deep. I think seeing this format, our director just wants to say next year he's also going to participate. He says he loves to go big down the ground. He's got a very good reach, good height.
Yeah, well, we'll see. There needs to be some big hits down the ground now at this rate. Just off his legs there and go out to the boundary. They'll only get 1. Could see the dog on field spectating. We've seen a few of them today. Pressure building here on the Sydney Storm. It's been an excellent over so far from Deva Prasad. Only gone for 3 off his 4 deliveries so far. Big last ball of the over, you sense here. He's gone hard there, Gus Sloan.
But gone for 6 runs. That is good strike. Clean strike.
He signalled 4 in the end. He was going to signal 6 and then changed his call to a 4. So let's have a look at this replay here. Got hold of it, Gus Sloan, and he needed to. The pressure was building. Flighted up there, onto it in a flash. Out to the deep. Let's see where it lands. Difficult to tell there.
Yeah.
4 runs signalled though. 7 overs, 43 for 2.
11 overs left, 55 balls, 116 to get. The leg spinner Shivraj will continue. First over had a success. That's in the air. Is this going all the way or is this going in the hands?
Nice.
It's going in the hands of the fielder at long on. So 3rd wicket down.
Another big blow for Sydney Storm there. Huss was looking set. He had faced 13 balls already before that. 11 runs. Hadn't really got going. 43 for 3 now. So he'll be joining Gus Sloan. It's big Brad McGrath. He's got a lot of power in him, the big man, and Sydney Storm are going to need that now. Goes out to join Gus Sloane at the crease. Gus will be confident after that 4-3 mid-wicket. Let's just have a look at this replay here, KB. Nice followed up. Bit of turn. Huss maybe a slight leading edge. Didn't quite get hold of it. Out in the deep and then well held at long on net. So the Kochi Bees charge continues here.
That's a good catch. 43 for 3.
It's a massive moment. If Gus Sloane stays in 6-7 overs, just survived that first ball. It looked like a low chance back to the bowler, but he's a big hitter, Brad McGrath. So if he's still there in 7 overs time, you sense that Sydney Storm will be back in this game. But it's about him staying in and being able to free his arms. Big, powerful arms, Brad McGrath. 7.2 overs, 44 for 3. Sydney Storm under pressure here, trying to keep themselves alive in this tournament.
That's a good shot of the back foot, but to the fielder in the deep. 2 more runs easily completed over there.
Absolutely. A lot of cheering out there, a lot of support from the sidelines. Great to see. Dog really entering field of play now. Doesn't seem interested, he's off. So Gus Sloane, 7 off 5 so far with 1 boundary. What's he got here? Frees his arms again. Big hit there from Gus Sloane. He's looking the part. Got nicely to that ball quickly. Down the ground. Let's have a look at this again.
Yeah, tossed it up ball. And Gus was ready for this one. Watches the ball till the last one. Full swing of the arms and gets a maximum result over there. 6 runs.
It really did look like a big hit there, so that would give Gus Sloane a lot of confidence. 52 for 3. Let's have a look at Brad McGrath's stats there. Another LMS legend, 489 matches in LMS. Another LMS legend, incredible stats, batting and strike rate. If these 2 guys can stick together, Sydney Storm have a chance. Just played into the offside there, down a long off, so just an easy single. Slight recovery coming on here, maybe KV for Sydney Storm. We've seen a couple of big hits, and let's have a look at Brad McGrath's stats there. Average of almost 58, strike rate of over 200, 3 centuries, 125 50s. Incredible stats there from the big man. Sydney Storm, they need those stats to come to the fore now. It's all good being on paper, but this is what they've built towards. Tournaments like this, going away to India, representing their city at the India Super Series. 8 overs, 53 for 3.
Yeah, that is absolutely sensational record over there. Striker of 200. I think today he just needs to show beyond that strike rate. That's a bouncer.
Gus not happy about that, and that's why you wear a helmet. I guess if you don't wear a helmet, you're inviting a ball like that. Sensibly putting the helmet back on now. I think he had a bit of a go at the bowler, but if you're a fast bowler and the batsman's not wearing a helmet, then you're well entitled to bowl the bouncer.
Yeah, generally, but when you have good, healthy relationships with each other, you just tend to not direct the bouncer into the body. Yeah, we understand you want to bowl the bouncer, but you just bowl away from his body.
Right at his head there, right at his head. Well, I think Gus will learn that for the future.
And that is where the umpire might have also told, okay, you wanted to bowl the bouncer, just keep it away. That could have hurt him.
Well, now this is a big ball. Let's see what happens here. Gus Sloane with the helmet on. Lovely shot in reply. Kept his head there, but it goes straight to the fielder, so just a single. Would have been easy for Gus to lose his head there. Few words back at the bowler's end now between bowler and batsman. Gus Sloane's just got to be careful to keep his head here. 8.2 overs, 54 for 3. Reminder that 127 is bonus point territories that Sydney Storm will be desperate to get to at least. Beautiful shot there through extra cover. Has the legs on it to beat the fielder. Big four there, and that was a wonderful shot from Brad McGrath, KV.
That is a wonderful shot. Driving through the offside and getting a boundary. Brad McGrath is really showing his class. Leans on the front foot and then drives this one through the off. We're live. That kept low. Was caught in two minds.
Good reply there from the bowler. Wow. Excellent reply. To see the power of the man, Brad McGrath. Lovely, out the middle, just raced away to the boundary. Here we come, last ball of the over. Into Brad McGrath's zone, but it's just down to long on for a single. So brings an end to Mohammed Ashik's second over. He's bowled exceptionally well so far, just gone for 9 runs off his 2 overs. 9 overs gone, 59 for 3. So we're halfway through the innings now, KV. Sydney Storm still needing 100 runs to win. They've only got 59 in their chase of 159. As mentioned before, 127 is also an important figure in terms of them progressing in this competition if they win tomorrow against the road.
Yeah, important game tomorrow for Sydney. But before that, they need to make sure that they get 127 today in this game. Then only their hope will be alive to make it to the next round. Mohammad Ashik into the attack. Low full toss dispatched over the bowler's head for 4 runs. This is good batting from Brad McGrath. He's taking on the charge now. Tossing the ball up, and it was a low full toss which was easily put away. This time ball's quick, been played towards a long off for a single. 5 of the first 2 balls. .95 needed of 43.
So he senses a big couple of overs here for Sydney Storm to get themselves back in this game.
Going down the leg side.
And that's where I think all these Indian sides are so good, KV. Any of those ones on the legs, they just move across and just whip it away. That would have, in my opinion, could have easily been a 4-run ball if it had been one of the Indian batsmen facing it.
Yes, definitely. Somewhere some batters are not that strong of the pads. They feel that their visions are blocked when the ball is directed into their pads line. So were you good of the offside or of the pads on the onside?
Oh, wouldn't say much of either, to be honest, KV, but yeah, I prefer to be it outside off and playing out those ways. Brad McGrath goes hard there, out to the deep. And that's 4 runs and an important another 4 runs for Brad. So he's starting to get going here, moving to 15 off 7. And this is just what Sydney Storm needed, a kind of knock like this. Gus Sloan also going well. He's hit a 6 and a 4 so far. Brings an end to the 10th over, 69 for 3. Sydney Storm beginning to look set. So we just confirmed, just having had a look at the table, they're not completely out the tournament, even if they don't reach 127. But it would take a big win over a Road Panthers tomorrow, maximum point win over Road Panthers, and to knock down the competitors' net run rate enough to make it through. So Sydney Storm's task of getting through gets a lot easier if they get over 127. Either way, they're going to come down to the game against the Road Panthers tomorrow. So they're not dead and buried, even if they don't get to 127. But looking at this now, KV, if Brad McGrath is still there in 6 overs' time, Sydney Storm are probably going to be on for the win. So he's a big wicket here, the big man.
Yeah, let's hope that the way Brad is going, he keeps on batting this way. That's been swung towards the onside. Fielder is there in the deep. Will only be a single. Slight fumble. The thought was there for the second run, but we'll only settle for a single.
Yeah, you think maybe Maybe Storm missed out on the second run there, but Brad was down the other end, so he would have been running to the danger end. Looking a bit puffed out there, as you can see, so probably the right call given how dangerous he's looked so far. He's just got to catch a breath there and just carrying on delivering. And the shots he's played so far have been lovely shots through the offside as well. He's a big man, but he's not just a slogger. He can slog hard, but he's got shots all around the park. Wonderful cricketer, McGrath.
This is good delivery. There's
That
an appeal for a caught behind. He's got him.
is a big wicket there. Big wicket. Went for the hit. Goes for 15 off 8 balls, and you sense that's a big moment in Sydney Storm's innings. Brad McGrath was looking good there. They needed him to stay in another few overs, but they've lost their 4th wicket now. 10.2 overs. Sydney Storm 70 for 4.
Big wicket over there. Going well. Brad McGrath scoring 15 of 8. Strike rate over 187. They needed him badly today for a big score.
So let's have a look at that replay. So it's good delivery outside off, and Brad had done well with these so far. Yeah, it was a bit of a hard swing there. He lost a lot of his shape and just got the nick. Safe catch by the keeper. He'll be disappointed with that, Brad, after he'd been looking so good. And cometh the hour, cometh the man. Big Ziad Abbas, LMS Australia international representative, captain of the Sydney Storm team. And if ever a captain's knock was needed, it's here and now. He's left that one outside off. Interesting tactic early on, a few of you might think, but at the end of the day, if Ziad Abbas is there at 18 overs, Sydney Storm will have won this game. He's an absolutely massive hitter, one of the biggest in the global comp, so he knows that he has time just to get his eye in, and then he can get going, and then he can clear any rope. Mohammed Ashik has bowled exceptionally well so far, though. Looked like a really dangerous, well-disciplined bowler. It's going to be hard to score runs off. 2.4 overs, 1 for 11 so far. Gus Sloan, importance on him now as a set batsman. He's looked very good for his 17.
Perfect Yorker. That is perfect Yorker. Very well disguised to finish the over number 11 after 11 scored 71.
Here's Ziad Abbas's stats as, say, another LMS Australia international player. 367 matches, almost 9,000 runs at an average of 49. Impressive strike rate of over 200. He's a dangerous man. Big hitter. Sydney Storm will need the captain there at the end if they're going to win this game. So 7 overs to go. There's 88 runs required. Well over 2 a ball required now. The Storm will be desperate for a couple of sixes soon to bring down that equation. Out to the deep there from Ziad. Just a single.
Singles will not help, because if you look at the scorecard, 34 balls, 79 needed. So a lot of runs to be scored over here.
A lot of runs to be scored, and in the last 5 deliveries there's been only 2 runs scored and a wicket. So pressure on Sydney Storm here.
Another wicket going down. Wicket number 5 down with that.
That is a big wicket there, KV. Gus was set, he was looking good, hit a couple of cracking shots there. Clean bowled, 17 off 14 balls, decent knock for Gus Sloan, but that's not what Sydney Storm needed there. They've lost a few of their big batsmen now, so the pressure really on. Who do we have coming out there now? It looks like Mick McGrath coming to the crease, the opening bowler. Known more for his bowling, but he's also an exceptionally good batsman. And a very solid head on him. That was a lovely ball. Seemed back in a little bit. Seemed to catch Gus a bit unawares. Well bowled by Sivaraj. So Mick McGrath, can he be the saviour to join his captain out there? Look at this now, Kobe. Last 6 balls, 2 wickets, 2 runs. It's the moment, is it, that we're seeing the match really go in Kochi B's favour.
This is what we're talking about, when the spinners will come in. It's not going to be that easy. And this is where they just need to improve more against the spin.
That's the difference, is being used to spin bowling on turf wickets and more importantly in Indian conditions. It's what Kochi B's will be so good at, and it'll be an alien concept to a lot of these Australian players. Well nudged out to the offside by Ziad Abbas, a single. Pressure building here though, 7 balls. Last 7 balls, there's been 2 wickets and only 3 runs, and Sydney Storm need more than that at the moment if they're going to win this game or even get close. Look at that equation now, 85 or 31. It's almost up to 3 a ball required for the Storm.
Pushing it for a single. Are they just thinking only 172? The way they're pushing the ball in the gaps.
Absolutely. So yeah, that magic number, the 127 number, will get 2 extra points for Sydney Storm. But even that at the moment, looking some way off. That's 52 runs away. Got 30 balls, so 6 overs left. And as I say, if Ziad Abbas is there at 18 overs, he'll be confident that he'll be able to knock off the vast majority of these 84 required for a win. But it's a big, big ask against the bowling attack of the quality of these Kochi Bees. In these conditions, it's getting dark out there. It's quite smoggy. Difficult conditions to bat and see the ball in.
Opens the face of the blade down towards the third man. A lot of work to be done by the fielder. He does well, but the batters will return back for a second. Good running.
Mick McGraw will know his duty here is basically just to make sure he gets bat on ball, try and get the 2s, but mainly it's just to get the singles to put Ziad Abbas on strike. This whole match now rests on Ziad Abbas for Sydney Storm.
Keeps low. Makes room. Want to go big.
Absolutely. His eyes lit up, try to play the cut shot. Just put a bit more pressure on. 82 needed off 28 balls now. Balls ticking down, pressure on Sydney Storm. Mick McGraw ready. Vinod Kumar in his 3rd over, none for 17 so far.
That is a good shot, cracking through the offside. But straight to the fielder. Kane, they're finding the fielders.
They need to get Ziad on strike as much as possible. He's only faced 4 balls so far. The big man also needs to get his iron soon. He likes to get his iron before going big. He's had 5 balls to do so now. Just a single there out to deep mid-wicket. And it's another very tight over from the Kochi Bees. And at the moment, you only see this match going one way, KV, I'd have thought.
Yeah, too difficult for Sydney Storms. But yes, they can just entertain the crowd by playing some good shots. He's bowled him. Wicket number 6 is down. So the last pair will just be at the crease.
That is another big wicket for Kochi Bees. Brings Sadeep Deepak to the crease as the last batsman. Mick McGraw exits for 5 off just 6 balls. He connected nicely with a couple of those in there. Was looking to support his captain, but now it's up to the young man, Sadeep Deepak, the 20-year-old Randwick Petersham player. More of a bowler, but he's also a good batsman as well, so he's got his chance here. Let's see what the young man has for us. It's very difficult conditions out there now, KV, though. This thicker smog and fog clouding the ground. But they're playing with a white ball out there with a black sight screen, so I'd imagine they can probably see the ball out there easier than we can from 80 metres away in this commentary box.
If it was a red ball, whites on, then maybe the umpires would have stopped the game a few minutes back.
There's no way that Sydney Storm want this game stopped now. They're behind the run rate, and that is a massive wicket there.
Number 7 going down. He picks up his 4th wicket over here. Shivraj, yes. What a leg spin.
That is a huge wicket, and with that, you'd think goes any hope Sydney Storm have of 1, chasing this total, but 2, potentially even getting to the bonus point territory. Ziad Abbas will be desperately disappointed. They knew that the team's expectations and hopes rested on him. It looked like a pretty full ball. Let's just have a look at this replay. Siva Raj has bowled brilliantly here today. Bit of leg spin there, comes back in, hits middle and leg. Wonderful bowling there. So look at these figures now. Siva Raj, 4 for 17 off 3.2 overs. Sadeep is going for the 2. First ball, is he going to get it back? Oh, what happened there?
Did the wicketkeeper dislodge the belts by his hands? Because there is nothing from the umpire. So that means the batter's got safely home. Now let's see. Yeah, the ball is not in his gloves. Yes, the ball is not in his gloves. That was a chance. If he had the ball in his gloves, that would have been the end of the game.
So Sadiq Deepak, a reminder that he has to run twos or hit boundaries as the last man standing. He can't run one. He's only safe at the strikers end. He's gone big there and got hold of that. Where has that gone? Just out to the fielder in the deep, so nothing. It becomes exceptionally hard when you're the last man standing, given that you're only safe at the batsman's end. It's got to get back to the batsman's end to be safe. So only twos and boundaries available now to Sadiq Deepak. A lot of pressure on the young man's shoulders. It's gone for that, and then cover's coming in. It's a misfield there at cover. So Deepak gets back, but he's really risking it. But I guess he's got to risk it at this stage, though, doesn't he, KV? With the amount of runs required, the only way Sydney Storm are taking home anything from this game, even those bonus points, is if Deepak keeps running these twos. He's connected well with it so far, to be fair. He's only had 3 balls and got all 3 out the middle.
If he gets on these 221 balls, 42 he'll get. So that will take the score to 125.
God, so that'll be interesting.
That should be the end of the over. 14 done, 83 for 7.
Look at those figures there. Siva Raj take a bow, 4 for 21 off his quota. That's a wonderful bowling performance, and that's what's won this game for Kochi Bees. They batted exceptionally well, but the bowling figures are 4 for 21. Exceptional stuff there from the leg spinner.
Will we see some hits in this over, or will we see the batter just trying to push the ball into the gap and take twos on the other end bowler?
Well, he seems to have shown intent there, KB. I think he's gone hard at all of his 4 deliveries so far, so I think he's thinking it's boundaries or nothing if he's going to get anything from this game.
Let's see. Where is he going? Goes for the big shot, doesn't get the connection. Inside edge for no runs.
He's lucky to get away with that, Sadiq. Defra Prasad on his 3rd over now, none for 17 off his first 2. Quicker ball, bowls him.
That's the end of the game. Looking to go big, and 83 all out over here. Sydney Storm. This has been an outstanding win over here by Kochi B8. Second win in a row. They've really outclassed this Sydney Storm over here.
They were desperately disappointed with that. The Australian boys didn't even get close in the end. Very disciplined, tight bowling performance from the Kochi Bees. At one point, Gus Sloan and Brad McGrath were looking decent with the bat. They got going. Looked like could be an important partnership in the making, but the loss of those wickets, plus the early wicket of Vikram Nehru in particular, would have really damaged the Sydney Storm confidence. And we look at that, chasing a target of 159. Vikram Nehru went early for 1. James Chopra looked really good for his 25 before he was dumped. Hussain Jazi, 11 off 14 balls. Gus Sloan had hit a 6 and a 4 in his 17. Brad McGrath looked the part, 15 off 8 balls, and that was a massive wicket when he went. Siad Abbas, the skipper, Sydney Storm's hopes rested on him at that stage. Went for 4, clean bowled. Mick McGrath bowled by Kumar for 5, and young Sadiq Deepak there at the end as last man standing.
We're talking about the bowlers. Pick up the bowler, the leg spinner Shivraj, 4 wickets for 21, and 1 wicket each for the other bowlers. Vinod, Sindhu, Mohammad Ashiq, and Dev Prasad. So they bowled out the Sydney Storms for 83 in 14.2 overs and won this game quite comfortably. If you look at the match summary, Kochi batted first, scored 158 with loss of 6 wickets, and reply to that, Sydney Storm were bowled out for 83. There were few performances over here. Shivraj picked up 4 wickets. So Sydney Storms have lost this game by 75 runs. So that is for the day. Time to say goodbye. Stay safe. We'll catch you tomorrow. So goodbye from the commentary box. From me and Rob saying you all the best.